Now let's learn how to create a basic block. There are several different ways that you can go about approaching the creation of blocks in AutoCAD. Any drawing can be used as a block, so that means you can start a new file and draw your block there. That's one method. Then later you insert that file with the insert command, and we'll go over that in a different video, and then that's how the block is now in your drawing. Or you can combine different objects in your current file and make it a block inside that drawing file. Then you can also export that block as a file to be used later on. Let's start with a blank file. Go to the templates, pick autocad.dwt. And let's draw a chair. Let's keep it simple. Just make it basically square, and overall dimensions don't really matter. So let's say that's the seat, and let's make a back and then some arms to it. This is just a chair that we're going to look at in a top-down view. So I just drew a couple of rectangles, big rectangle for the seat, smaller one for the back, and then two here for the arms. Extremely simple. We'll get the idea that it's a chair. So let's save this file. Let's call it chair. So this is our chair drawing. We just made our first block. Now, if you wanted to create the same block but keep it inside your file, use the block command. So just type in block on the command line, press enter, and you have the block definition window. You can also go to the Home tab on the ribbon and go to the block panel. And here you have several different options. You can insert one, you can create, you can edit a block, or you can look at some of the different attributes of your block. That's what these all have to do. We'll talk about attributed blocks in another video, but right now we want to create a block. So we're going to use the create command. This brings up the block definition window. Every block needs a couple of things, and that is a name and an insertion point, and it also needs the objects. So let's give it a name. Let's call it chair. Now we need to pick a base point. Select that button and then find an appropriate place to insert your drawing from. I'm going to pick the midpoint of the back of the chair. So that is the reference point for this block. Now we need to specify what objects are going to be. We can select them by picking that box and then just simply selecting all of the objects that you want in the block. Now you'll get a little preview. And that's it. Make sure your units are set up the way you'd like. I'm going to match these with inches. And when you're finished, click OK. And when you're done, that should make that into a block. It's really that simple to create a block. Now, if you want to export a block that you just made into a folder, you have a couple of options. You want to use the wblock command. That's a W block. Press enter, and you get the right block window. Now, you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can select the objects and create a brand new block, just like we created our chair block. You can select the entire drawing, or you can pick a block that's already in your file. We already made the chair block, so that's what I'm going to select. Browse to the folder where you want to save it, and then click OK. And that exports your block out. I'm going to cancel this because I don't want to override this file. Keep in mind that a good practice to follow when creating blocks is to draw the contents of the block on layer 0. When a block's contents are on layer 0, they will take on the properties of the layer they're inserted on. Otherwise, they will retain their properties of the object's layer. Now, drawing your blocks on layer 0 gives you more options when displaying your blocks. You can use the same block, but have it drawn differently without having to redraw it or change it in any way. Otherwise, you're going to have to draw a different block for each way you want your chair to look. So let's say we're remodeling a room and we have multiple existing chairs that our client already owns that they want to incorporate into their design. They want to save some money this way. It's great. So you have a couple of layers. Let's make a new layer. I'm going to call it old chair, and I'm going to make it a gray color. I'm going to make another layer. I'm going to call it new chair, and I'm going to make it red. Okay, I'm going to copy this chair a couple of times. Now let's say these 3 chairs are the old chair. So I'm putting them on the old chair layer. Now let's say these chairs are the new chairs. They are on the new chair layer. I very quickly and very instantly know what's old and what's new. And I can do that because I drew all of my line work originally on layer 0. So now the properties for my chair will take on the properties of the layer they are inserted on, and not for the original layer or color or line type of what the object was drawn in. So this is a really cool thing that will reduce the number of blocks you need to use and increase the value of the blocks you already have.